Testing. Is it working? Welcome back! Today I wanted to share the self-tape that booked me the recurring role in Anatomy of a Scandal. I thought it might be interesting. I like watching videos like this. I honestly kind of wish there was a way to see the winning tape on every job that I auditioned for, just so I could see what they did differently. I know that wouldn't help because you'd just keep overthinking things, or you'd see that someone did exactly the same thing that you did and you'd be like, oh, it's just my face. But I think I'd find it helpful. Whenever I'm in a workshop setting and I get to watch different actors perform the same scene, I always learn so much because there's hundreds of interpretations and everyone does a different thing. I just find it fascinating. I always get ideas for, you know, my next audition or the next time I get a similar scene. I go, oh, maybe I'll try it this way. I find it useful, so hopefully this will be interesting / useful to someone. So I talked a bit about getting the audition through my agent and all the bits around it in my previous video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. This was the character description. My main takeaways from this are she's a nanny, she lives in the family's home, she's Eastern European, the relationship is very professional, her boss is accused of rape, aware of her place within her family, and is kind and sympathetic. That is all the information I got. Then I read the audition scene, which you're going to see in a minute, and it's hard to see it now, but I distinctly remember at the time that my first instinct was that there was something going on there, that there was some flirty undertone. I certainly remember that being my initial choice. But I generally try not to go for my first choice because chances are most other actors auditioning for the role will also be going with that same choice, if that makes sense. Obviously it doesn't always work, especially for the smaller characters where the first choice is really the only choice because the only thing your character is doing is asking the lead character if they have a reservation or something. But it's good to think about alternative interpretations anyway. So yeah, I decided to play it a bit more innocent and friendly. Even if he is flirting, Christina's just oblivious and is just not entertaining it in any way, or choosing to interpret it as a friendly conversation with her boss.
Hello?
They're not back yet! Should I make you something to eat?
Thank you, but I'm not your job, Christina. Did you eat? Good idea. Is there more?
Just road is rocky.
Rocky Road. Finn's flavour. Stay.
I don't understand marshmallows.
Sorry? Agreed. They're disgusting, but occasionally compelling.
It's always weird with the props. Most of the time they don't really like you to use props, but I just felt like, because we're eating ice cream, I felt like I kind of needed to have the spoon, otherwise it would just be weird for me. So I chose to have it, and I don't think it's too distracting in this case, but generally don't use props just for the sake of props.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Oh yeah, originally Christina was meant to be Polish, so that's why her name is spelled in a Polish way.
Dziękuję bardzo?
Sorry, I don't understand.
I was thanking you in Polish. Wasn't that Polish?
I don't know what that was.
I'm hopeless at languages. Absolutely no ear. But seriously, thank you, Christina.
What?
You take such good care of the children. They trust you, feel safe with you.
I will miss them when I go back to Krakow.
What will you be studying when you go back?
I want to be a civil engineer. I'm really interested in infrastructure.
Never knew that about you. You'll be great.
Hi, I'm Violet Verigo. I put the slate at the end there. More often than not, they say they want it at the beginning. If they haven't said anything, I like to put it at the end and just be myself after they've already seen the character. Especially with the roles that are requiring an accent. I never know if I should do the slate in the Eastern European accent as well, or do it in my own accent. I mean, I try not to overthink it. I do overthink it every single time. But from everything I've seen from all the Q&As and stuff, they tell you not to stress about the slate because it's literally just for them to see you and to find out how you pronounce your name and stuff like that. Annoyingly, I feel like I look a lot better in my tape facially than I look in the final thing, but that's probably just me being tired of my own face because I've seen that thing so many times. I've overthought it and overanalyzed it, obviously, because that's what I do, and I haven't seen this in like 3 and a bit years. Yeah, yeah, very interesting. Auditions and self-tapes and castings are just so weird because having been on the other side of the casting table, I can tell you that it's pretty much never you or your acting ability that doesn't get you the job. One of the short films that I was the lead character in, they were looking to cast an actress to play my girlfriend, and they asked me to come in for like a chemistry read audition type thing, and we saw like 10, 15 maybe actresses. They were all great, they were all amazing, they all did a really good job, everyone was a good actor, but at the end it just came down to her hair is also long and brown, so we can't really use her because she looks too similar, or I don't know, you two don't really match up, doesn't really make sense as a partnership type thing. And in the end we just went with the actress who we just vibed with, and we looked different enough but not so different that it didn't make sense. So yeah, it was literally just that. So the best thing to do is just do the audition and forget it existed. If you book the job, it's a nice surprise, and if you haven't booked it, hopefully you've forgotten about it. I like how I'm saying this and I'm constantly thinking about things that I didn't book, but whatever. You never know what the reason is. Sometimes they completely scrap the role, sometimes they just go with someone who is a bit more blonde because the director pictured someone blonder.
Even though wigs exist.
Sometimes the producer's niece decides that she wants to be an actress, and you know, things happen. I'm sure you've heard that before, but treat the audition as a job. You're there to show what you can do the prep, do the work, have fun with it, don't agonize over it. I think that audition took me like 20 minutes. Sometimes they say it's nice to do 2 completely different takes, so maybe do your first choice and then like a completely crazy choice and maybe put that one first. I, for some reason, tend to just do one unless they've specifically asked for a couple of different contrasting takes. I prefer to be off book because I feel like I can focus on the acting and not need to worry about the script. But I've heard casting directors say it's not a memory test, so you don't have to be off book if you can't. If it's a last minute tape, this was sent to me in the evening and it was due the following morning, so I don't think that we're expecting anyone to be off book. That's pretty much it. Hopefully this was interesting, hopefully you enjoyed it. As I said, I always like watching tapes that booked. I also like watching tapes that didn't book because it makes you see sort of why something or someone was a better choice. So yeah, maybe I can do a video where I just show you a tape that didn't book, which is a lot more vulnerable. But might be interesting. I'm gonna try and find something that isn't like NDA'd, or maybe something that's so old that no one's gonna care.
Playing a risky little game with the copyright material that I keep using.
Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.